7 Stoic laws for an unshakable life. Let nothing break you. Live with inner peace. You suffer more in your mind than you ever will in the world. Because most of your pain, it isn't what happened. It's your resistance to what happened. Your fight with reality. Your need to control the storm instead of becoming the stillness inside it. This is the first law of the Stoic. Control what you can. Accept what you can't. And know the difference so clearly that nothing can shake you again. The Stoics understood what most people forget. There are 2 domains in life. What's within your control? What's outside of it? And the line between the two? That's where peace is found. You cannot control what others say, what others think, the past, the weather, the economy, the traffic, the delay, the outcome. But you can control your thoughts, your response, your habits, your focus, your character, your effort, your words, your discipline. And once you stop wasting energy on the uncontrollables, you reclaim your strength. You want to be strong? Then stop being ruled by what you can't change. The world won't always be fair. People won't always support you. Life will throw chaos without warning. But the Stoic doesn't fight what they can't fix. The Stoic adapts, adjusts, moves with purpose, focuses only on the field of control, and lets the rest go. Not from apathy, but from wisdom. Because trying to control the uncontrollable is like shouting at the ocean to change the tide. You waste your voice and forget you could have been learning to sail. If your peace depends on perfect people, perfect timing, perfect outcomes, you will never have peace. Because the world is not your servant, your mind is. And when you train your focus on the controllables, you stop reacting. You start responding. You stop spiraling. You stabilize. Say it. I no longer waste energy on what I cannot change. I protect my focus. I master my mind. I let go of what is not mine to carry. I control my thoughts. I control my words. I control my path. And because of that, I control my peace. You feel it rise. The anger, the panic, the doubt, the urge to react, to lash out, to collapse inward. But a Stoic does not react. A Stoic responds. They do not become their emotion. They observe it. They pause. They choose. Because here's the truth. Emotion is not weakness, but uncontrolled emotion is. Your emotions are not enemies. They're messengers. But if you let them drive the ship, they'll wreck it. You feel angry? Fine. Feel it. But don't become it. You feel fear? Let it speak. But don't let it steer. You are not your panic. You are not your pain. You are the space that holds them both without drowning. The Stoics taught, emotions are natural, but action must be chosen. Reaction is animal. Response is divine. It's not things that upset us, said Epictetus, but our judgments about things. Feel the emotion, but don't obey it. Observe it, but don't worship it. Channel it, but don't be consumed by it. Because every emotion is a signal, not a command. Anger may show you where your boundaries were crossed. Sadness may reveal where something still matters. Anxiety may remind you that growth is near. But don't confuse the signal with the truth. You are not the storm. You are the sky that holds it. The person who cannot control emotion will be controlled by the world, provoked by comments, derailed by gossip, shaken by tone, offended by shadows. But the Stoic, they feel the heat and stay cool. They feel the shake and remain grounded. They don't deny emotion. They dominate it. Because power doesn't look like rage. Power looks like restraint. Say it. I am not my fear. I am not my anger. I am not my sadness. I am the master of my state. I choose how I move. I own how I respond. Let the emotion come. Let the wave rise. But I am the shore. You didn't choose everything that happened to you. You didn't ask for the pain, the loss, the delay, the betrayal, the storm. But the Stoic doesn't just endure fate. They love it. Amor fati, a love of one's fate. Not because it's perfect, but because it's yours. Life will hand you what you didn't ask for. But how you hold it, that's where the power is. You lost time? Turn it into wisdom. You were rejected? Turn it into strength. You were broken? Use the pieces to rebuild something greater. This isn't about toxic positivity. This is about radical acceptance. About meeting life where it is and finding the lesson inside the ashes. Amor fati is not passivity. It's not saying, "This is fine." It's saying, "This is mine and I will make something from it." Marcus Aurelius wrote, "A blazing fire makes flame and brightness out of everything that is thrown into it. Loss, fuel. Failure, fuel. Delay, fuel. Disappointment, fuel. Pain, fuel." The Stoic becomes the fire, not the ash. You don't get to control what life hands you, but you do get to control what it means. You get to ask, what is this teaching me? How can this shape me? How can I turn this pain into power? Amor fati is the decision to say, I may not have chosen this, but I will rise because of it. You are not fragile. You are not defined by what happened. You are not your wound. You are the one who stood back up, the one who chose to carry the lesson, the one who said, "This happened, and now watch who I become because of it." Say it, "I love my fate, even the parts that broke me. I don't resist what is, I reshape it. What happened to me does not define me. What I do with it does. I don't just survive my story. I rise from it." This is Amor fati. You will die. Not one day, not someday. You will. That clock is already ticking, and it's silent, but certain. Memento mori. Remember death, because only then can you truly live. You rush. You worry. You complain. You compare. You waste days like they're infinite. You hold grudges. You chase noise. And why? Because you've forgotten what the Stoics remembered every morning they opened their eyes. Today could be my last. So how will I live? Memento mori isn't about fear. It's about urgency. Not the urgency to panic, but the urgency to prioritize. What matters now? What can I let go of? What will matter when my time is up? The Stoic wakes up and asks, if this is it, will I be proud of how I moved through this day? You're waiting for the perfect time, the perfect confidence, the perfect sign. But there is no perfect, there's only now. And Memento Mori says, let's go. While you can, before it's too late. Make peace. Speak truth. Build the thing. Say what matters. Stop the cycle. Start the change. Let go of the petty. Embrace the powerful. Because tomorrow, it's not promised. But right now, this moment is yours. Remember death, not to be afraid, but to wake up fully to life. To stop playing small. To stop being passive. To stop numbing yourself through distraction. Because if today were your last, would you scroll? Would you hesitate? Would you carry that resentment one more second? Or would you breathe deeper, love harder, focus sharper, live freer? Memento Mori is the great clarifier. Say it, I remember death so I honor life. I live with urgency, not anxiety. I cherish the day because nothing is promised. I don't delay purpose. I don't fear endings. I live like it matters, because it does. Memento Mori. I will die, so I will live fully. You know what's right. You always have. But knowing isn't the battle. The battle is doing it when you don't feel like it. This is where the Stoic becomes unshakable. Not because they never feel temptation, but because they've trained themselves to obey principle, not impulse. Desire is easy. Comfort is easy. Quitting is easy. Complaining is easy. Discipline? Discipline is a decision made over and over, even when it's hard, even when no one's watching. The Stoic doesn't live by feeling. The Stoic lives by alignment. They ask, what kind of person do I want to be? Then they act like it, especially when it's hardest to. Epictetus said, freedom is the fruit of discipline. And that sounds backwards in today's world. We're told freedom is doing whatever you want, whenever you want. But that's not freedom. That's slavery to impulse. True freedom is when you wake up and do what must be done, regardless of mood, fear, or ease. You don't need more motivation. You need more standards. You don't need to feel ready. You need to honor the mission. Discipline means waking up when you said you would, saying no when you want to say yes, showing up when you'd rather quit, telling the truth when it would be easier to hide, holding the line even when your emotions beg you to fold. That's power. That's control. That's the path to peace. Desire says, later. Discipline says, now. Desire says, just this once. Discipline says, not today. Desire says, you've done enough. Discipline says, keep going. You don't have to feel like it. You just have to do it anyway. Say it. I do not serve desire. I serve discipline. I rise when it's hard. I show up when it's quiet. I do what is right, not what is easy. Because every disciplined choice I make is another brick in the life I'm building. And I won't let comfort steal my greatness. In the end, they can take your money. They can tarnish your name. They can cut you out. Ignore your work. Forget your legacy. But what no one can take? Your virtue. Your character. The kind of soul you built when no one was watching. The Stoics didn't chase wealth or popularity. They chased integrity. Because that's the only currency that holds its value across every storm. Marcus Aurelius ruled an empire, yet he wrote, waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one. Because in a world drunk on power and ego, he chose virtue, wisdom, courage, justice, temperance, the 4 cardinal pillars of Stoicism. Not because they sound nice, but because they're unbreakable. In every moment you live, you are choosing vanity or virtue, comfort or courage, reaction or responsibility, shortcuts or truth, the crowd's approval or your own reflection. You are building your character or slowly abandoning it. What does virtue look like? Holding your word when it's hard, speaking truth when it's not popular, showing respect when it's not returned, choosing discipline when no one's checking, leading without needing credit, being aligned not for applause, but because it's who you are. You don't need the world's recognition. You need your soul's approval. And when your head hits the pillow, you'll know, I lived right. I moved in integrity, and that no one can touch. The Stoic doesn't ask, what can I get away with? They ask, what kind of man? What kind of woman? What kind of soul am I choosing to become right now? That's virtue. That's legacy. That's real power. Say it. I don't chase approval. I chase alignment. I don't live for status. I live for strength of character. I choose courage. I choose truth. I choose what is right, even when it costs me comfort. Because my virtue is my fortress, and it cannot be shaken. You were taught to fear the obstacle, to flinch when things go wrong, to pull back, to break down, to ask, why is this happening to me? But the Stoic asks something else. What is this for? Because what stands in the way is the way. The obstacle isn't blocking the path. It is the path. That failure, it sharpens you. That delay, it humbles you. That loss, it strips away the false. That betrayal, it teaches you loyalty to yourself. That rejection, it reroutes you to a higher mission. Nothing is wasted. Not when you live like a Stoic. Marcus Aurelius said, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." You don't need an easy life. You need clarity in the face of hardship. You need to stop seeing problems as proof that something's wrong and start seeing them as proof you're still in the game. Pain means you're alive. Struggle means you're building something. Resistance means you're moving. Let others curse the mountain. You climb it. And when you fall, you rise again, not in spite of the fall, but because of it. The Stoic uses everything. They use silence to hear themselves. They use pain to practice strength. They use delay to build patience. They use betrayal to fortify boundaries. They use setbacks to build systems. Because the one who can turn every burden into a lesson is the one no one can defeat. The obstacle is not the enemy. It's the assignment. So, whatever you're facing, that's the training. Not punishment preparation. Not a curse, a classroom. And once you stop resisting it, you'll start receiving everything it came to teach you. Say it, I no longer run from struggle. I meet it head on. I use it. I learn from it. I become stronger because of it. I walk through pain with purpose. I let resistance refine me. I don't ask the obstacle to move. I become the one who moves through it. Because I now know the obstacle is the way.